Hey folks, it's Mysterious JG. Going to give you guys kind of an update now on my condition. It's not really a channel update so much as a JG update. I don't do a lot of videos like this. I had really mixed feelings about whether or not to do it, but honestly, I want to put this out there so that when I'm recording videos for my channel, which I'm going to be doing going forward for various reasons, but mostly just because I enjoy it and it helps me keep my mind off stuff. But I don't want to be pussyfooting around in videos trying not to talk about things that are on my mind because I'm not public about them. So I'm going to let you guys know a little bit about what's been going on with me. And I warn you now that if you just want to watch my channel for funsies, and you're not really somebody who wants to get pulled into people's problems, which I completely understand, you could probably just kind of stop listening now because I'm going to explain what my health issues are and where I'm going with it. So I did a channel hiatus video about a week ago, and I felt like I needed to get something out there to explain why suddenly the channel was starting to dry up, and I hadn't really decided how much I wanted to tell the world of the JG subscribers and viewers at that time. So I just kind of put it out there. I mentioned that I'd had this surgery, but now, again, like I said, even I have recorded a few videos since finding out the big news, and was making like sly comments that only Bobo and then Zerfall and Ald know a little bit about it too, because I told them based on the fact that we're doing this project together, and I thought they needed to know why I wasn't going to be available. Um, but yeah, I've got. I want to be able to actually not be self-conscious in my videos and be able to crack jokes about a thing that's pretty heavily on my mind. And the thing that's pretty heavily on my mind is that I have cancer. So I'll spare you some of the grislier details, but back in around the end of January, I started having a sudden onset of extremely severe symptoms of colon cancer, rectal colon cancer. And I won't give you details on what those symptoms are, because if you know anything at all about rectal colon cancer, you can probably guess what those symptoms were. Um, and 2020 hindsight, I can think back on less obvious indications over the months preceding that maybe I should have paid more attention to. But things became really apparent in the end of January, and I went in and got it checked out, and I found out that I had colon cancer. And I had, I know now, after the operation is done and the tumor has been removed, this was like a huge growth. And the oncologist told me that the radical cancer cells, the cells that cause cancer, the mutations that cause it, probably happened 10 years ago. And this like physical tumor has probably been growing in me for several years. But the reason I went to the hospital was to get it out, and that happened. And it was a long hospital stay, and it wasn't a lot of fun. Um, my parents were spent a lot of time with me and helping me through it, and my older sister, and she came up and visited, and she was very helpful to me. And my little brother, Bobo the Vulture, came up and visited me in the hospital, and that was a good thing too. But I don't mention him last as I mention him last because he's the youngest. He was the last one who had a chance to get up there. He actually came up and visited me before the surgery as well. And but I mentioned him last, just like and the final one, the only one you know is Bob. I don't know. I'm going off on a tangent here, but no, family was a great help getting through it. It was a really I tried to cowboy up through some stuff post surgery that didn't go very smoothly, like my system not waking back up. There was a couple of days where I had a tube up my nose because I would eat things and they would sit in my stomach, and my intestines weren't drawing things out of my stomach, so they had to be pulled back out of my stomach through a tube. That wasn't a lot of fun. That's not something that always happens. I'm not going to go into the story. I told Zerfall the incredible story of the amount of self-advocacy that had to take place to get the urologist's office to remove the catheter. That was insane. I won't go into that here, other than to say that on the phone with the administrative support staff trying to schedule an appointment to get this removed, was the only time I remember in my lifetime being in a public place with other people around and not realizing until it was too late that I was screaming, "You're out of your fucking mind," into my phone because the urologist admin was telling me, well, we have openings in July to remove something that was supposed to be removed the next day. Anyway, no, but I'm all out of the hospital and feeling pretty good. And saw the surgeon just the other day, and he said my scar looks like it's I'm going to have a scar for the rest of my life, but like the actual wound, the incision is healed, everything's fine, but it's cancer. So cancer is not a thing where you just go in, you cut it out, you take it out, and everything's hunky dory. It can be like that, but you don't know that it's like that. You don't just have an operation, have it removed, and then you're safe. You've got cancer, which means it can recur. So I'm going to keep my channel going, but a constant thing in my mind at all times is in about a week and a half, I'll be starting a 6-month chemo regimen. And everything that I've been told suggests that this will probably be the toughest thing I've ever done in my life, most likely. The week in the hospital was pretty rough, but you know, talk about stuff like, oh, I went to Afghanistan for a year as a civilian, and oh this and oh that, and like, no, this is nut cutting time here. So that's going to be a thing, and I'm not that excited about doing it. I feel like I'll know a lot more about how my life will be after the first 1 or 2 infusions, because I'm going to have a total of 12 across 6 months. You can go online if you want to and read about all the effects of chemo. Some of you may have firsthand experience. In fact, I know some of you do. But I mean, the one that has me the most worried is neuropathy, which is a thing where, you know, chemo is essentially pumping poison into your body to kill fast-growing cells, because cancer cells are fast-growing cells, and they can kill those cells, but they're also going to kill cells that you need, and they'll come back, and that's why people lose their hair, which I don't. I'm told I probably won't lose my hair, but I might. And that's why chemo causes people to lose their hair, because those cells are fast-growing cells, and chemo will adversely affect them, and you will have low white blood cell counts and be susceptible to infection, which isn't great with the coronavirus thing going on. But no, the one that's got me a little worried, because it's the only one. You read about nausea, you read about feeling weak. There's drugs to counteract nausea. The one I'm worried about is neuropathy, which is you get strange sensations and lack of feeling in the feet and hands, and that's again caused by it's the nature of the nerve cells down there. The chemotherapy will affect your nerve cells, and the reason that one has me particularly nervous is because that's one of the few side effects of chemotherapy that, when the chemo is actually over, may not reverse. It may just be permanent damage. So that's got me a little uneasy, but the alternative is you don't get chemo and you just hope that by itself the cancer doesn't come back. And I won't give you the numbers, but I've gotten some numbers, and no, it is not an acceptable risk to just say I'm going to bypass chemo because it seems like it's more trouble than it's worth. Like my chances of having a long life and no recurrence are they're much, much better. Let's put it that way. They're just much better if I go through this. So that's going to be pretty tough. And once I get into all that, again, I don't really know what I intend to keep Let's Playing, just because it's a fun thing that I enjoy doing. And like at this moment, with a bunch of people in, social isolation, like, do I feel a responsibility to create content for you guys? Well, not really. I mean, it's gratifying to think that some of you guys out there are enjoying what I'm doing. But no, I'm not responsible to do that shit at all. I'm doing it because I enjoy it, and I enjoy the feedback that I get. And the series where people really, I can enjoy, I was chatting with Zerf the other day, who's been a great help in all this, about like how much fun we had doing Super Show Monster Story, even though nobody, not a lot of people were watching that. I mean, it was a running gag during the LP itself that it was like me, Zerf, and like 3 or 4 people, one of whom would comment every 5th video, and that was like the joke. But no, I mean, the series where people actually participate, and I get these messages at the end of a long series where I was like, oh, that was so much fun. Thank you, JG. I really enjoy that. That stuff does feel good. But primarily I'm doing this because I enjoy the actual process of recording it, and it just gives me distraction. And I'm going to need distraction. I will definitely need distraction. Whether or not I'm going to have a lot of days where I just don't feel it because I'm fighting the effects of chemo, which include having very low energy, very low appetite, body aches, nausea, all that other bad stuff. I mean, yeah, maybe I'm not going to want to sit down and record a bunch of videos when I feel like that. But so I guess what I'm saying is I'm making no promises whatsoever about maintaining the channel to any extent, but I'm going to be trying to do it just for my own fun. And again, I don't want this to turn into, like, if people want to respond to this video and wish me luck and say positive things, like, that's great. Please don't start posting on other, like, if that's like episode 15 of Metal Gear Revengeance and Raiden the cyborg goofball ninja is carving up a guy and there's a bunch of political stuff and I'm making a bunch of jokes, like, don't comment on that video talking about it's really, we really appreciate you being strong and fighting cancer, or I don't want this channel to become the cancer channel. But I kind of felt like I needed to say something because it's in my nature to make jokes about everything that's happening in my life. And like, if you can go back and watch a couple of the Dokapon Kingdoms recently, like, Bobo had to timestamp and go like, oh, wow, because there was literally one Dokapon recording session that happened before the operation, but after I found out that I had cancer, where, like, something stupid happened with, like, I lost an item, or Rochambeau won my money, or an elf played a mean trick, and my response was to say, this is the second worst thing that's happened to me all week. And, like, I'm going to make jokes like that. So I guess for anybody who really cares, I want you to kind of know what's going on. And for anybody who doesn't, like, I don't think I'm going to start going off on speeches about cancer during my videos. But I'll probably make little comments about, I guess I want to be liberated to feel like I can make joking reference to whatever the hell is going on. I'll tell you, from a Let's Play perspective, one of the most, like, gut punch things was I became aware of this initially, or that it was a real strong possibility that it was cancer. Like, before it was diagnosed, there was really only about 3 things on the table that could have been causing my symptoms before I went in and had a colonoscopy, which is not fun. The prep is not fun. But like Red Dead Redemption 2, like the whole ending of that, where, like, you're playing as a protagonist who's doomed because he has tuberculosis, and, like, his last thing he's trying to do in life is just do some good, and particularly the fact that he's trying to help a character that he thinks of as a brother who's starting a family. It's like, holy shit, that stuff hit way closer to home than I would have expected by the end of that series. So yeah, I guess what I'm saying is I wanted you guys to be aware of this, just because I think it's going to affect the way I react to things in videos. But at the end of the day, I'm pretty much going to be, like, joking around and having fun. And yeah, that's kind of it. So again, I'm going to be uploading videos, but I don't think I'm going to be maintaining the kind of regimented schedule I had going for a while, where it was like Red Dead, Final Fantasy, other Final Fantasy every day, and then on weekends, like 2 episodes of Nobunaga's Ambition, and then on 2 episodes of a main 30-minute series every weekday, and then, except for Tuesdays and Thursdays, where there would be an episode of Dokapon. Like, I had this pretty regimented thing going. I don't think it's going to be like that. I think I'm going to be putting up stuff as I have stuff, but I'll be trying to keep things going, and I hope you stick around for it. If you want to, like, offer me best wishes and encouragement, I appreciate that. I sincerely do. Just do it in this video, and again, don't turn, like, I'm thinking about starting a Let's Play of Final Fantasy VIII, and if I have an episode of Final Fantasy VIII where I'm cracking jokes about Zell riding in on his skateboard and Squall, like, rolling his eyes, and then I go to, and it's like, oh, I've got a comment on that video. I wonder if somebody liked the joke I made, and I scroll down, and it's this thing about, well, my cousin had cancer, and I have a great, like, just, I'm preemptively saying, just keep that stuff here. and let my channel be a thing I'm doing for a hobby for fun and not the Cancer Guys channel. Because the only reason I'm letting you guys know I have cancer is so that I don't have to worry about making a joke or reference to the fact that I have cancer in passing in a video, which I'll probably try not to do just because that's not the most fun thing in the world anyway. All right, so this video has already gone on longer than I meant for it to, but I'll try to find something that I can put over top of it as a visual, and I will try to continue doing my channel, and I will try to get through chemo, and I'll try to come out on the other side and just have this be. I'm looking forward to being a cancer survivor. I'm looking forward to like not getting that worked up or worried about all that many things in my life and not letting that many things stress me, because I'll know that I got through something that that was pretty hard, and it really is liberating not to have to feel like I needed to beat those last optional DLC missions in Neo, because hey, if I beat cancer, I don't really need to beat the 100 fighter gauntlet in Neo to say that I done all right. Catch you guys in the next video.